Hello AOS fans, Robin here. Today I'm going to quickly run through my Sepulchral Guard deck for our Sepulchral Guard mirror match as requested by you guys. So I'm a little bit nervous about this one. I haven't played the Sepulchral Guard yet, and the mirror match seems a particularly difficult thing to plan for. So I'm a little bit worried about my deck. But we'll see how we go. We'll start off with the objective cards, and so you can see what the deck's about. I ummed and ahed with this one. Should I go all out offensive? Should I go objective chasing? Should I try and play contained and denial, contain and denial? I was tempted to play contain and denial. I looked at the board. I think it's very doable against Sepulchral Guard if you've got to get a narrow setup, or if you can control it. But if you can't, you've got a wide setup with your opponent trying to run ring around you, which may or may not happen, of course, then I think contained and denial could be tricky. So I haven't gone for that in the end, and I may regret this decision. I've kind of almost gone for none of those. I suppose it's objective in the main, but it's a kind of watered down slightly version. I haven't gone all out, which I may regret. So anyway, so my first 5 objectives are the 5 whole objective cards. So that's those, nothing very exciting about those. And if you're playing those and you've got 7 people in your team, even if your opponent's also got 7 people in their team, then I think it's worth playing Supremacy. So Supremacy's in there as well. Then I've also gone for Divide and Conquer. I think there's going to be lots of running around in this game, people crossing the threshold of the board. I'm not going to be trying to keep Pete out of my area, so I think that's well worth having. I'm probably going to have to go into his area, or may have to go into his area to get Supremacy, so that's worth having. Then I've got Reaper. Reaper, score this immediately if a friendly fighter's attack takes 2 or more enemy fighters out of action. I reckon that could happen in this game. I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping, because there's going to be so many people on the board, there's a good chance that they're going to getting two in an attack for somebody is going to be possible. Yes, so I should be trying to get the Harvester in on a couple of troops there. Is my plan with the Reaper. And then I have gone for Ploy Master. Now this is following my theory that you need to have something you can control. Score in the end phase if you play 3 or more ploys in the preceding action phase. Unless the cards go horribly against me, I should be in control of that one. I can bang out a few ploys to get that extra glory. So that's my plan with that one. In a similar vein is March of the Dead. Now this could be tricky, but it's worth 2, so I thought it was worth a go. Score this in an end phase. All of your surviving fighters, at least 5, have made a move action in the preceding action phase. Now, that can be hard with 7. I'm hoping I can do it when I have 5. But we'll see how we go with that one. It's a little gamble, but again, I can kind of do that with unless Pete kills me very quickly, I can kind of do that regardless of what he's doing, and hopefully get into positions to do the other things that I want to do. So I won't be trying to fight Pete so much. I'll be trying to move around him probably. And then a bit of a gamble at the end again. I've gone for Flawless Strategy. Score this in end phase if you score 2 or more other objective cards in this phase. I think that's doable with an objective deck, especially with Sepulchral Guard. And the reason I put that in actually is because of Superior Tactician, which is my final card. Score this in the 3rd end phase if you have scored 6 or more other objective cards. So if I can get to 2 and Flawless Strategy in a turn, that's 3. Then I only need to get 2 each in the remaining 2, or 1. I need to get, sorry, if I get Flawless Strategy and 2 objective cards in 1 turn, then I only need 3 more. So that's what I'm hoping for. Obviously, if Flawless Strategy and Superior Tactician come out together at the same time, I'll be a bit stuffed. But that's my theory of this deck. Let's see how that goes. So they're the objectives. So what have I done to try and make that happen? I've gone for Healing Potion. Always handy to have a Healing Potion. I think that's always a must-have. I guess in Sepulchral Guard is probably slightly less needed, maybe, but you don't want your warden to die. So I put a Healing Potion in there. And then I think another must-have in the Sepulchral Guard deck is Bone Shrapnel. Play this after an attack action that takes a friendly fighter out of action. That fighter the fighter that took them out of action suffers 1 damage. I think that's well worth having because it's, you know, effectively a 3 point of damage. Ceaseless attacks. Play this after a friendly fighter's attack action. Make an attack action with another friendly fighter. Now, I just think, again, it's a free attack, and it's got to be worth having. So that's what I'm gonna. That's why that's in there. Dance Macabre. Any fighters that make a move action in the next activation can move 1 additional hex. Bit of a mobility helping card there. Useful for chasing down that supremacy, maybe, or just getting in the position to block Pete or from doing something that he wants to do. Grasping Hands, again with the idea of blocking Pete. Reduce the move characteristic of the first fighter to be activated the next activation by the number of friendly fighters that are not on the battlefield. That should be, hopefully, won't have to get too many negatives in that one, because obviously I don't want too many of my men to die. Spectral Form. Any friendly fighters that make a move action in the next activation can move through other fighters, but must end their moves in empty hexes. Now, I quite like this one. This is a good card. I haven't seen it before, I don't think. I like the look of that one, but it's very handy to stop contained denial, because you can just run through your opponents into their end zone. Very useful. Confusion, I think a must-have in any objective-taking deck to get where you want to go. I've gone for Sprint. I wasn't entirely sure how useful Sprint would be, but somehow I can never leave it out. Always think, what if there's a situation where I need to sprint? So that's in there in case I need to make a quick move. Shifting Shards, moving unheld objective 1 hex, can be useful in this kind of deck. Similarly, Sidestep, it's a free move basically. So that's all my ploys out of the way. And now my upgrades. Great Strength for dealing extra damage, could be useful for picking up the killing 2 people in 1 go card. Remembered Shield, changing defense characteristics to shields. It's a model specific card, but it can go on 3 models, 3 of my 7, so I think that, or in fact more than that, because it's Petitioner, so 5 of the 7, so I think that's worth having. Frightening Speed, +2 move on somebody, again, it's a specific card, but it's 3 different models, and I think, again, it's about the mobility. Ancient Commander, choose 3 other friendly fighters, move actions with these fighters, they make move actions with these fighters. This does not allow a fighter to move twice in the face. That's an upgrade for the Warden, and I think, especially as I have the March of the Dead one in there, that's pretty handy, because it makes it easier for me to move those guys. So that's why that's in there. I've got another one for the Warden. I've got Lethal Lunge, try and make him a bit stronger. Has Cleave, which isn't great because there's not very many of the none of the Sepulchral Guard go off shields, but I've put Lethal Lunge in there. There is some, that's possibly not great. I might actually swap it out before I play, but it's good. It gives the Warden extra damage before he's inspired, so I think it's probably on balance worth having in there. And then my final cards, I've got Great Fortitude, gives an extra wound, could be useful for shoring something up at some point. Sixth Sense, you can never consider a double assist a success for an attack action that targets this fighter. That could be really useful against the Sepulchral Guard, so that's why that's in there, because obviously I may be swamped. Then Legendary Swiftness, again to increase my mobility. Shard Caller, that's in there. It may prove useful, it may not, but it may prove useful. I'll start that in there. Kind of want to partly put that in there so I can get my objective, but also partly to maybe make Pete think I've got some of the shadow keys or the tactical objective ones, so that perhaps bluff him a little bit into making different decisions. And finally, Shadeglass Darts, which is one of my favourite cards, just for its range attack. It's probably less useful in these circumstances. I quite like it, and it may be useful taking out a petitioner or two from far away. So that's why that's in there. So that's my deck. As usual, I'm not particularly confident in it. My plan, I suppose, is to kind of take the objectives that are in my half and then nick one of Pete's with Supremacy. Try and get my ploys going to get Ploy Master out. Hopefully, during that time, I'd have got Flawless Strategy, and then that will, in the end game, lead to the Superior Tactician coming out. We'll see whether that happens in our game. So until then, take care. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this useful. Do comment below if you think what you think of the deck. So it's my first Sepulchral Guard deck. I'm not that confident in it, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, until next time, take care. Bye-bye.